Hi friends, it's good to see you today. I'm glad we get to spend some more time together. I have a few fun things that we get to do. We are going to have a lesson on the difference between animals and plants. And then we get to read a book about all the life that is on our beautiful earth. And then we're going to sing a song about animals and plants and how they're different. Sounds good? Okay. So first, good morning. It's good to see you. I want to talk to you about animals and plants and how they're different and how even animals are different in the animal family and how plants are different in the plant family. So today we're going to talk about the 5 different types of animals. Are you ready to repeat them with me? Yes? Okay. The first is mammals. Can you say mammals? Mammals, that's right. And mammals are special because they have warm blood. They usually have fur or hair. And when they have their babies are alive. And one animal that we might know that would be a mammal is a cow. A cow is an animal, and the type of animal it is a mammal. Very good. Next, let's talk about the second type of animal. This type of animal has scaly skin, usually is cold-blooded, so it needs the sunlight to help it move. And this animal is usually having 4 legs, but sometimes it doesn't have legs at all and it slithers. Do you know what animal that is? A snake, yes. And those types of animals are called reptiles. So I have a turtle representing reptiles. Can you say reptile? Reptile. And reptiles are different from mammals because when they have a baby, their baby is in a shell and it takes a little bit longer time after the egg is laid that the egg waits to hatch. And an animal, like a reptile, comes out. Reptile. Our next animal that we're going to talk about is one that is kind of different than all of the rest. And it's special because it lives in the water. Do you know what type? A fish. A fish is a type of animal. I have a fish here. And a fish is special because it is the only animal that can breathe underwater because it has gills. Some mammals live in water like whales and dolphins, but they have to come up to the surface of the water so they can breathe air. Fish don't need to do that. They have gills that take the oxygen, the air, out of the water so they breathe that way. They're similar to reptiles because you can see the turtle likes to go to the water, but the turtle can't live in the water all the time. It has to have some time on the land. The next animal we're going to talk about is a bird. And this is a duck, which is a type of bird, which is a type of animal. But a bird is similar to reptiles and fish because they lay eggs. But it's different because what? What is its body covered in? Feathers. It has wings. That's right. So a bird is not a mammal, not a reptile, not a fish. A bird lays eggs, has feathers, and what can it do with those feathers? It can fly. That's right. And there are only a couple birds that can't fly, like ostrich and penguins. Penguins can swim, but they can't fly. And birds are pretty special. They like to live in nests usually, and that's where they lay their eggs. The last one we're going to talk about is kind of like a reptile. It likes to be in the sun a little bit, and it lays eggs, but it's different because it also likes to go in the water a lot because its skin is smooth and slimy and wet. Do you know what animal I'm talking about? Amphibians. And an amphibian we know is a frog. We have frogs. And frogs are amphibians because they lay eggs, they like land and water, and they are cold-blooded. So they still need the sunlight to help them get energy. So we have mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, that's a long word, amphibian, and fish. Those are all types of animals in our world. Pretty cool, huh? Now the next one we're going to talk about, these are all animals. Let's talk about plants. Now plants can come in many different shapes and sizes, from a tiny little piece of grass on your lawn to a huge tree that is 10 stories tall. Plants come in so many different shapes and sizes, but there are 6 plant parts, which means every plant has all these parts that are important to help it grow. The first one is the roots. Remember we talked about how the roots suck up the water? Well, we're going to talk about a root that we eat. Do you know a root that we eat? Something that grows in the ground? Carrots. We eat carrots. Carrots are a type of plant that we eat, and they are a root. Root. The next one is something that grows above the ground and it holds up the leaves. Do you remember what part that is? The stem. That's right. And stems that we eat sometime could be a celery. Do you see the celery stalks? Those are all actually stems. Remember the elevator that brings the water up and down? Celery is the stem. Now, the third thing that we eat from a plant is green and kind of thin, and lettuce is this part of the plant. Do you know what that is? A leaf. That's right. Leaves are part of a plant that we eat when we eat lettuce. The fourth part of a plant that we can eat is actually a flower. Some flowers are not okay to eat, so we always ask mom and dad, but a flower that we can eat is broccoli. Did you know that the part of broccoli that we eat is actually the flower? Pretty cool, huh? Flower. Now the fifth part of a plant that we can eat sometimes is probably the most delicious, I think. It's sweet and usually juicy and very colorful often. The part of a plant we eat is a fruit, and that's an apple. An apple is a fruit. So we have 5 parts of a plant that we eat: roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and the last part that we eat are seeds. Sometimes we have sunflower seeds or nuts or different types of seeds that maybe we use in a mix. But another seed we eat are peas. Peas are seeds inside of their shell, aren't they? So we have plants and animals. And all of these pictures are available, and you can practice sorting plants and animals and how they're different. Now, we know plants and animals are different because animals have to go looking for their food. They can't make their own food. But what's so cool about plants is they make their own food from sunlight. So they don't have to go get up in the morning and walk around to find their own food. They just have to put out their leaves, and the sunlight helps them make food through photosynthesis. That's a big word, isn't it? Should we say it together? Photosynthesis. Very good. So photosynthesis helps the plants make their own food, so they don't have to go look for food for breakfast. But animals always have to find their own food. Another thing we know about animals is they have a brain that tells them to walk this way or slither that way or swim down there. Plants don't really move other than when they grow. They grow slowly, and so they move that way, but they don't move on their own. So that is another difference between plant and animal. Are you ready to read a book about all the wonderful life that we have on our earth? Yes? Good, me too. This book is very special. The title is Life. Life. And the authors are Cynthia Rylant and Brendan Winsell. It's a very special book. It's going to talk to us about all the things on earth that we get to experience. Life. Brendan drew all the pictures. It looks like maybe he painted, and Cynthia wrote all the words. Life begins small. Do you see the smallest plant? Life begins small. Even for the elephants. And then it grows. Beneath the sun and the moon, life grows. Ask any animal on earth, what do you love about life? What would any animal say? The hawk will say sky. The camel will say sand. The snake will say grass. The turtle may remain quiet. It has seen much in its 100 years, but the turtle loves life. How could it not, with so much rain on its back? Remember how we talked about turtles are reptiles and they like to go in the water sometimes? We talked about the snake loving grass. A snake is a reptile. And the hawk that loved the sky, do you remember? That's a bird. And the camel loves sand. He is a mammal. But life is not always easy. Tiny bird in a storm. There will probably be a stretch of wilderness now and then. But the wilderness eventually ends. And there is always a new road to take. That looks like a beautiful space to live. Remember this. In every corner of the world, there is something to love. Looks like the dog loves his stick, and the cat loves looking outside. And something to protect. There's always something to love and always something to protect. And if one day it seems like nothing beautiful will ever come your way, trust the rabbit in the field, the deer who crosses your path, trust the wolf and the wild geese who find their way back home. All these know something about life, that everything is changing. And it is worth waking up in the morning to see what might happen. Because life begins small. It's a big foot. And grows. The end. Do you see everybody at night? It's a special picture. Isn't that a beautiful book? I really like it because it shows all the animals across the entire world. And they all think our world is pretty special, don't they? So we should too, right? And we should take care of it and take care of them. Well, we're going to sing a little song now that you can practice at home with your family, but I'm just gonna sing a couple rounds with you. Are you ready? It's a song that you probably know, but I changed some words to go with our animal and plant theme today, okay? Old MacDonald had a mammal, E-I-E-I-O, with a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there. Here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo-moo. Old MacDonald had a mammal, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a root, E-I-E-I-O, with a crunch, crunch here and a crunch, crunch there. Here a crunch, there a crunch, everywhere a crunch, crunch. Old MacDonald had a root, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a bird, E-I-E-I-O, with a quack, quack here and a quack, quack there. Here a quack, there a quack, everywhere a quack, quack. Old MacDonald had a bird, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a stem, E-I-E-I-O, with a dip, dip here and a dip, dip there. Here a dip, there a dip, everywhere a dip, dip. Old MacDonald had a stem, E-I-E-I-O. And you guys can continue all the way through your plant parts and your different animals. Did you notice how I was saying the sound that different animals make? It's fun to play that game and then guess what mammal or what bird or reptile or amphibian or fish you're talking about, or even try with plant parts. It's a fun guessing game. Thank you for spending so much time with me today. I hope you had fun and you learned a little bit more about plants and animals, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.